Hello there, Woody here. Just trying to think of new quick videos I can make. I'm not that good at making long videos, and I like to do a little bit of fancy editing, so I try and keep them all a bit short, but also trying to get some titles that might encourage search engines and people looking for things to have a look at some of my videos. So this is a video on the worst tool I ever bought. Now, this is probably not the cheapest tool or the most expensive tool that was useless, or this is just a tool that looked like a good thing. There was a lot of advertising for it, and yeah, I got suckered right into buying it. Now, I think this thing was about 30 bucks. It is by Crescent, and it is a right angled shifter, adjustable spanner that goes in and out from there, and on the end here it has the little divots there for the head of the bolt to go in, like that, which is not too bad when I can hold the bolt here upside down and have a good look at it. But quite apart from the fact that it jams, I've just WD-40'd this. There is no way to make it run any more smoothly. When you're coming down on the thing from that, there's no way. There's absolutely no way to know that you're right. It's just, I have used this exactly once and damaged the nut, and then I tried on a few things that weren't critical or in play, and no, this thing is absolutely useless. I've just gone and WD-40'd it all. You can still hear that there are tight spots in the turning mechanism, which means that if you are on something, there is so much back drag that it just never gets to the point where you can actually use the stupid thing. And when you turn it, it's just a hopeless thing. I would not recommend it to anyone, and it will go in the drawer and probably stay there forever. Although the sort of thing that happens with things like this is I'll probably end up putting it onto a nut where I need a windy handle and just weld it in place, and then it will be forever part of that. I had a jack with one of these, not exactly this, but a different thing on it. I just welded the socket on it, and the handle just stayed on the jack. It was the best use for a bad piece of equipment. But anyway, that's it. I don't know if they're still around. I haven't seen them for a while, but it's Crescent. They're sold all over the world, so all I can say is if you see one of these, don't buy it. Okay, thanks for that. I thought today we might take a look at some knives. Now, there's a lot of this I see on YouTube. People going, oh, what's your everyday carry knife? Oh, I need to carry this and this and this. And I think, well, to be fairly honest, I think every job I've ever had, I had a reason to carry a knife. Usually it was to remove packaging. Whether it was when I was setting up appliances for Mr. Rental, or whether I was cutting straps at One Steel, cutting cardboard at Endeavour Foundation, or even just cutting the wrap off pallets at my last job at Follamont Transport. So yeah, I generally carry a knife. I bought this one here specifically for Follamont because it stays on my key ring for my bike keys, so I know I've always got it in my pocket. It's not a utility knife, it's a little pocket knife. I'm not great at sharpening knives, but there's always someone who can give it a quick sharpen for you. So yeah, I just find that to be the most convenient. It can be reasonably blunt and still do the job it needs to do, so it's not like it needs to be fantastically sharp. This one here I bought in 2007. I worked a job at a sheet metal joint, and I was assembling the drawers that go under the back ends of utes under the tray, and there was a specific rubber we bought. It was a rubber stopper, the same as you have on your doors, like in your house, but it needed the domed end cut off, and this was the only knife where you could get that purchase. You had that dump in to get that purchase and poke it straight through, cut it down, turn it around, cut the other side off. Very good little knife. I've had this, like I said, since 2007. It does have issues. This bit's a bit loose, and there's a bit in here that's broken, so I can't, it makes it difficult to access the blades inside, but no, it's still a good knife. If you haven't used it for so long now, I've got to remember how to shut it. That's right, it's got the one there. So of course we have the Stanley, your box cutter. We call everything like this a Stanley knife in Australia. It's just a generic term. So yeah, I have a good one of those. Now, what else have we got here? Now this is my favourite. This is the Klein. I bought this because it had a good name on it, but it was very cheap. This was like $17, and that would have been, I'm sure that was just before I bought this knife, the Cat, because I found that I was leaving this one in my pocket, and when it got to the clothes dryer, it was quite noisy. So, but I really love the fact that this button, you push this button and she's out, push it again and she's shut. I mean, it's that simple. This one here, this is a Gerber. I bought this because, once again, good name. It's got it's a horrible knife. It's a cheap knife. Look, it was $14, and I get the fact that it was $14. You know, and you can't expect too much, but it's difficult to open, it's difficult to close. But they all take the same blades. And I've worked at enough places that have these kind of knives that I do have quite a lot of these blades, probably enough to see me for the next 30 years. So yeah, this is the one I use the most. This is my Old Faithful. He normally sits in the pocket of the door of the car, and this one here is the one I keep for upstairs, for when I need something up there, so I don't have to walk all the way down the shed. This here you will recognise is the Leatherman. This is the Free T2. This is the cheapest Leatherman you can buy. Now, I see a lot of whinging about this one on the American forums. Over there, this is a $40 knife. It is still the cheapest one you can buy. This in Australia is a $90 knife. Now, I was lucky enough that my daughter started working at Tent World, and she decided to buy me a Leatherman, so I said to her, just get me the cheapest one there is. And I mean, you know, you're paying a lot for the name, you're paying a lot for the warranty, although it's probably not much use to me here in Australia. I haven't used it a lot. I like pocket knives, but I don't use them a lot. I would use the utility knives more often. This one is, it's a piece of art, you know. It's like a Wera screwdriver. It does a job, but it's also nice to look at. Got a few different parts in here. Yeah, and I'll use it for sure, but for the moment it's more just so that I can say I have a Leatherman. So, as I say, this one here, which is going to play up in me now, is my favourite. Everything about it is good. The price is right. It locks well. It opens easy. It shuts easy. I use this one a lot of the time for just about anything I need to cut. You can see all the crap on the blade there, where I've just used it for all sorts of things. But for ease of use, it's the little cat knife here on my keyring.